Hi there. Let me take a few minutes and show you how to do exactly this same strategy on your graphing calculator. So if you haven't done so already, what you want to do is enter all 30 of these data values into list 1. So I've already done that. So if we go over to my calculator, remember to do that, you want to press the Stat button and then press Enter. So right here in my list 1, you can see that I have entered those data values already. In list 2, I have the data values for example 2. I've pre-entered those also. So take a second and enter the data values in list 1. You might want to pause the video now and do that before we go any farther. Okay. With the data values entered into list 1, the first thing that I would do is run the one variable statistics command. So if you press the Stat button, remember you want to press the right arrow and go over to Calculate. There's the one variable stats command. If you press Enter, that will bring it up onto the home screen. So right now, notice my one variable stats command says list 2. I want it to say list 1. So if your calculator screen does not look like this, if you just get the command on the home screen, you want to press second 1 to tell it to do the one variable stats for list 1, just like we've done in class, and press Enter. So notice if you press the down arrow, then you can get the 5-number summary. There it is, the minimum, Q1, the median, Q3, and the maximum. That's exactly the 5-number summary that we had. And of course, to calculate the interquartile range, no difference. You would just take the 2 minus the -1, Q3 minus Q1. That would give us 3. So it's important to do this first because this gives you a hint as to how to set up your window. So recognize the X minimum is -8, the X maximum is 6. So to set up a good window, I'll press the window button. I want my minimum X value to be -8 or a little less than that. So maybe I'll make it -9. So the maximum X value from the 5-number summary was 6. So I'm going to make this X max, I'm going to make it a little bigger than that. I'll make it 7. And that's all you need to do. To graph a box and whisker plot, you don't have to worry about the X scale. The X scale is used in a histogram to determine the width of the classes or the bars. Even the Y minimum and the Y maximum and the Y scale, none of those values matter when you're graphing the box and whisker plot. It's the X minimum and X maximum that you got to get set. And I would set those by looking at what you got in the 5-number summary. So let's make sure you've got the box and whisker plot selected then. If you press the second button and the Y equals button, this goes into our plots. So something important, I'm going to use plot number 1. Make sure plot number 2 and plot number 3 say off. If they are not off, you need to go in and select it and turn those plots off. So I'm going to go into plot number 1 right now. So right now it's highlighted. I'm going to press Enter to go in there, and it is currently off. I'm going to turn it on by pressing Enter. So now it's turned on. This is the histogram option that we have used in the past. The option that you want to use for a box and whisker plot is this one right here. It's this one with the 2 little dots. Those 2 little dots mean this is the box and whisker plot that will actually check for and plot the outliers. Technically, this is called a modified box and whisker plot. This is a box and whisker plot where it won't check for outliers. I'm not sure why this one would be particularly valuable. I would always want to know if I have outliers. I would always want to check for them. So this is the option that you want to choose. So press the down arrow to go to the types, and then you have to press the right arrow and keep pressing the right arrow to cycle through the options. Now the option that I want is highlighted right there. I'll press Enter to select it. The X list where my data are list 1. So the only thing left to do is graph it. There you go. There's my graph. So no matter what you do, no matter how you set the window, the graph is going to be at the top of the screen, and it is set to do this automatically because the top of the screen is where your first plot would go. You will see we can plot multiple box plots at a time. This calculator will actually accommodate 3 of them at a time. Well, having multiple plots on at the same time is a good tool for comparing. So this is the same plot that we had calculated by hand before. Notice if you press the trace button, you can trace the plot. So here's the -2 where the whisker ended. If I press the left arrow, there's the minimum x value of -8. There's the outlier, and it's plotted as a box. So if I press the right arrow, notice at the bottom of the screen, it even labels this as Q1. The left side of the box is at -1. That's Q1. There's the median. It's right at 0, just like it should be. Pressing the right arrow again, the right side of the box, there's Q3. It is at 2. And then the end of the whisker at the x maximum is 6. So, and again, you can see the skewness. Everything is stretched over to the right. So it's not particularly hard to create a box and whisker plot on the calculator. It will automatically check for outliers. I do want you to know the criteria to check for outliers, but this is an awfully convenient way. If you've got the data in the calculator, it's a nice way to make a quick graph. And this is what I would encourage you to do on your homework assignment. Hope this has been helpful. If you would like to see the other example, I'm going to make one more video where I take a few minutes and go through example 2, but it's a pretty quick example since we've seen all of the basics already. I'll put it on the calculator also if you want to take another look at that. So hope this has been helpful.